What is going on, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Let's talk about the Chevrolet Tahoe. Built off the same GMT800 platform as the Chevy pickup trucks. Keep in mind the engine options are different from other trucks within the 800 series. In this video, I'll be focusing more on the 4.8, 5.3, and the 6-liter V8 engine options. Welcome back to Watch This First. Today I'll be going over common issues and breaking down the GMT800 Tahoe from 2000 to 2006 to help you with your buying experience or to simply help you diagnose an issue you may be having. Now, I'm not saying do not buy one. These trucks are truly fantastic. I just want to help educate you. Let's get started. Is your brake pedal pulsating and not reliable? Well, the ABS module could have a bad soldering joint located underneath the driver's seat door on the inner side of the frame. You can remove the module itself, take it apart, and resolder the bad soldering joints. This is common for a lot of Chevy vehicles with high miles. Or if you're having shuddering brakes, look where the sensor meets the wheel hub itself. The mating surface could be dirty and need to be cleaned. Both of these issues are relatively common. The gauge cluster can fail over time and give false readings and readings that kind of bounce all over the place. The fix would be a rebuild of the cluster, which you can actually do yourself if you're comfortable with motherboards and soldering. There is a cool guy on YouTube who rebuilds these and has some pretty good tutorials on fixing them. Link to his channel down below, or you could send it out to him or someone else who rebuilds them. Are you hearing some very annoying clicking from the dash as you mess with the climate control? Well, the blend door actuators are known to fail due to their cheap plastic gears. The clicking is insanely annoying. The actuators can fail completely and inhibit your climate controls to work properly. Depending on the location of the actuator that is going bad, it could be an easy repair or a semi-difficult one. There are videos out there to help you locate which one is going bad, so do your research. I have links to the parts down below for your convenience. Is there clunking from the steering? Does it happen over bumps or when you turn the wheel? That could very likely be due to the steering intermediate shaft. Basically, the telescoping shaft ends up going bad and you'll need to replace that. It is pretty easy to do, relatively. LSX Max on YouTube has a good video on replacing this, and I have a link to his video down below. If you're having crazy electrical issues and you just can't seem to figure it out, there are two main ground wires you need to check. There is a grounding strap located underneath the hood and a ground wire directly underneath the driver's seat connected to the frame. Replace the grounding strap and clean up the mating surfaces for both wires, then see if that fixed your issue. If not, then there may be a mouse living under your fuse box. No, seriously, be sure to check under your fuses within the fuse box itself. There are many reports of rats eating wires underneath there. Of course, you have to check for rust on the frame and the brake lines. If the rust on the frame is severe and has holes, look at another truck. The brake lines running along the frame to the rear are known to rust out and leak fluid, which is very dangerous. This especially happens in the north. You can buy pre-bent brake lines to make your install easier. Link down below. The exhaust manifold bolts can snap off over time and cause an exhaust leak. You will be lucky if the bolt that snapped was up front, because it is almost always the back bolts that snap. If the bolt snapped within the block, you can't attach an extractor onto it. So I would have a professional do the job for you, because you may need to drill it out and retap the hole, which can be a bit daunting, especially in such a fragile location. Can't pump gas correctly? Your evap vent solenoid might be clogged and need to be replaced. It is a pretty straightforward repair located next to the gas tank. The Heatercore quick disconnect fitting connected to the firewall can fail. This actually happened to my 2008 Tahoe. You can replace a cheap plastic quick release that is a pain to remove and somewhat difficult to install. Every video on YouTube makes it look easier than it really is to remove it. Trust me. Or simply remove the metal part at the end of the existing rubber hose and attach that hose to the end of the existing quick release with a clamp. That's what I did. If you damage the plastic quick release where you can't do this, you may need to replace it anyways. Let's talk about engine specific issues. Since all these engines are built off the same LS platform, all the issues can happen on all the motors. Intake gasket. The intake gasket can leak, causing rough misfires during cold startups and at idle. The intake has to be removed, but it's relatively easy. Add a new gasket and reinstall the intake and you're good to go. Speaking of removing the intake manifold, the knock sensors are there as well. Water can pool and cause these sensors to go bad, so I will do some preventative maintenance while you're in there and replace those sensors. Low oil pressure is also an issue with these trucks. The O-ring where the oil pickup tube mounts to the oil pump gets flat and they can start to suck in air. Drop the oil pan and remove the oil pickup tube, then replace that O-ring. Still a DIY fix in my opinion. The oil pressure sensor can also go bad and give out false oil pressure readings. That sensor is located at the rear of the engine and can be accessed without removing anything. However, it is much easier to get to with the intake manifold removed. The Castech heads in the 5.3 liter engines are known to crack and cause a coolant leak. Usually this happens to the Castech heads with the casting number 706 or 862, but this can also happen with the GM heads as well. You will have to replace the head to fix the issue. The oil cooler gasket can start leaking. Located directly above the oil filter and attached by two 10mm bolts. Remove those bolts, clean up the oil, and add the new gasket. Pretty easy repair when you do your next oil change. Water pumps can fail in these trucks. First, they can leak coolant, and second, they can stop spinning. Either way, you will end up having some coolant spitting out of this hole or just leaking from the gasket location. As far as replacing water pumps go, it is relatively easy on these V8 trucks. Finally, here are other missable issues that may pop up. O2 sensors may fail, which is common with any vehicle with age, however is reported more often with these Tahoes. Seats can crack over time if you don't take care of them, so be sure to take care of them properly if they're in good shape. We all like nice things. The plastic buttons on the dash itself can fade over time due to normal use and the sun beating on the dash. So use sun shades to keep the dash and the interior in good shape and prevent it from fading. Four-wheel drive can also have issues. Transport case motor, encoder ring, and or the actuator seal can go bad. You'll know if it's bad if your truck immediately gets put into four-wheel drive low or high when you crank the truck over. So yeah, all of these issues that I mentioned can be fixed and repaired by anyone at home with a DIY know-how. For that reason, they are one of the most reliable SUVs, second to the 4Runner, that you can own that will easily last well over 350,000 miles in my opinion. If you enjoyed this video, then I'll see you in the next video. This is Chris AutoMotivate. Always appreciate and respect one another. I'll see you next time.